Okay, yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
They're like, this radio, look. We can see radio.
Forget about that.
Yeah, we got to just listen. So how was your week?
It was good.
Okay, what about you, Roogle?
Yeah, you know what? It was I'm still kind of broke up about Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Okay, RBG.
Yeah, just because of everything that's kind of going on with it and how they want to, like, I don't know if you want to talk about this now or just wait for later.
Go.
You know, but basically it's like this. The Republicans, when President Obama had the chance to put somebody, when he had the chance to replace the justice because Scalia died, that was 10 months before the election was going to happen, all right? And they said, oh no, we need another, we need to make sure that the American people's vote is honored by having the new president, whoever that may be, choose the person. 10 months, and they blocked it, right? So what I found out was that the last time that a justice was replaced in a year of a presidential election was like 1880 or something like that, right? So the issue became, when the Republicans did that, why are they now rushing and going against what was their principal argument before? You know, and basically it's like this. That's because, oh, that was the Democrats and we're the Republicans and we have a president in office now, so they're going to push fast, full steam ahead to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Actually, today at 5 o'clock, he's going to name who his nominee is going to be.
Now he said Saturday he was supposed. Oh, today is Saturday. Look,
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, he said Saturday was supposed to be. It is Saturday. Now they didn't do it yesterday on Friday because I heard some remnants of, you know, or rebuttal of he was going to say it on Friday, even though he told us he was going to do it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So what do you think? It's just like a popularity thing. He wants to go down in history. It's changing things since you said it was what, 1870 was the last time to say I did what I wanted to do.
Roundabout.
What do you think?
If
you could jump in his head.
I mean, the whole thing is like this. He wants to have some sort of legacy to leave behind, and if he replaces, he already replaced, I think, what, 2 people on the Supreme Court. So he's pretty much in a situation where it's going to shape the American legal system for generations. You know what I mean? Because he has appointed some people. They're pretty young and they live a full life, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg has. You know, you're looking at their influence being over the court for many, many years. You know, and there's a lot of things that could potentially be at jeopardy that deal with equality, that deal with voting rights, that deal with a lot of things that as what we know America should be, but they're challenging everything. Along with that, what's going on is that he wants to cut a month short off of doing the census, which if everybody isn't accounted for in certain areas or everywhere, it can drop the amount of representatives that you have in Congress. So, and not to mention funding for everything else, right? So they don't know that. Yeah, so and that will be in place for the next 10 years if that happens, if it's reported badly, you know. So people really, I mean, they're trying to fight so it can go through the end of October, but really it's supposed to be the end of September. So people really need to do their census if they haven't.
Okay. Tell me, do you think that the Supreme Court judge, do you think that position should be like an electoral position every 4 years? Or just till you check out?
You know, I mean, I really don't know. You know what I mean? Like, part of it is like, well, you know, if it's the way it's been set up, it is a lifetime appointment or whatever. And I kind of think like, I mean, I don't know how you would run that election. You know what I mean? Like how, you know, how that would happen. Because I know that at the state level, it is that sort of thing. I don't know if you do 4 years. I don't know if you do 10 years. I don't know, you know, what that would be if you were to do it. But it could. I think one reason why they have it the way they do is that the court sets it. They try to follow the precedents of what has been set, right? So usually they don't overturn a judgment that a former court made, right? And potentially sometimes it may be a person on there that may have been connected to some of those changes or some of those I shouldn't say changes, but some of those uh, judgments and that sort of thing. But I think having it without any terms gives you some level of consistency. However, the issue is what are those people's politics? Can they go by the letter of the law and not by the judgment of their party? And that's the most important thing right now, is that we don't know if those people are going to be fair to the American people or they're going to be loyal to their party.
Oh, like what I said, what I coined when I said party over people.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to figure out if they're going to be party over people or people over party. Nick, what's your thoughts on putting or keeping someone in that seat forever once they're voted in, or should we re-elect?
We should re-elect. I mean, if they made Obama do it, why is it okay for him? I just, yeah.
That's
And
the presidency versus the Supreme Court judge. So you think that we need to re-elect a Supreme Court judge?
yeah, and my thing is, how come they're not honoring her request? Because didn't she request to not be replaced until the election?
She did. She did.
So
How you feel
yeah,
about that, Roogle? That's a good point.
They don't care about her request. You know, I mean, like she requested, you know, but the only thing that was going to stop them from not doing it is her not dying. You know, they don't care about her what she requested. I mean, even there's even Republican support in the Senate to say that they should wait. You know, but unfortunately, there's not enough. There's like two or three senators that are against it, but it's not enough to stop it from happening. So I don't know how that's gonna work out. But yeah, they want to. This is a woman who's been so instrumental in setting up laws and having judgment on certain things that have really gone against what the Republicans say they stand for, right? So you know they're not gonna take this chance not to reverse the things that they feel are bad, right? So they're like when it comes to even healthcare, like getting what they coined Obamacare overturned, even though it's great things and people like it'll be millions of people without insurance without it, but they don't care, right? They don't care about those things. I mean, you have more controversial issues like abortion and stuff like that, but at the same time, this is a party who says they're against that, but not against the death penalty, not against feeding people, not against having people have insurance, and against people having insurance and all that kind of stuff. So when you look at those things, it's like sometimes it's a little bit of an oxymoron when they talk about reproductive rights and things like that.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Nick, that you have to say on the topic of politics?
no, people, please get out and vote. We need him out of office, and we need the Democrats back in running things. Please, just that's my message. Vote, 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 vote like you did for when we first voted Obama in. Please go and vote.
Okay. Now here's my thing. What if you have where the people vote and they don't vote the way that you think they should?
Yeah, that's a rough one because I've been seeing a lot of divide within our people.
Uh-huh.
So, listen, I'm just relying on, at this point, even with this politics stuff, I'm relying on the Lord. Please, Lord, because we've had enough of 2020 all the way around. I mean, we didn't had a bad last 4 years, but 2020 has been the worst. At this point, even in politics, I'm just relying on the Lord. We got to get something. Got to give.
Yeah.
Well,
To speak more to that issue, there's been more absentee ballots in swing states gathered or were given to Democratic voters versus Republicans in many of the states that are swing. I think it's like 7 of them. The other issue is that in Ohio, he's pretty much in a dead heat with they're in a dead heat. They're tied right now, you know. So it does really come down to what happens between October 6th in Ohio, because that's when voting starts, to the November 3rd when it ends. You know what I mean?
When you're in the line with the
yeah. So I mean, it really depends on if people, turn in those ballots, go vote, and that sort of thing. I plan on going to vote the first day of vote that I can. Yeah.
Here's a common question that I get, and that is, and I'm going to ask you, Roogle, because I was asked to ask you.
Right.
Should the absentee ballots, should we use the absentee ballots or just go to the Board of Elections to vote because they don't trust it? They feel as though it's going to be rigged. And that was several people. I just summed it up.
I think this is what people need to understand, though. I think if I know this correctly, but I believe this is what I've been hearing because of what Trump had told people in North Carolina or something like that. He said, vote on the absentee ballots and then go in person and go vote, right? He told them to go vote twice, which is a felony, right?
I remember that.
So the thing is, I think if you request that absentee ballot, I believe you have to vote that way, right? I believe,
Here's the thing. If you request the absentee ballot, you have to vote that way. But what about the absentee ballots that was mailed to people automatically? Because I got one.
Yeah, I think you have the choice. But I mean, either way, if you fill it out and take it in, or however, because you can still drop that off. You don't have to.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Live studio audience says something. I can't pull your mask down a little bit because we can't understand you.
I received the form to file for an absentee ballot.
Oh, is that what that was? A form to file for an absentee ballot? Okay, because I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, who was that? Now I will say this: there's some that have a issue where they feel as though the people that's working in those arenas, like at the Board of Elections, the people that's encouraging you to register to vote, they feel as though that they are pushing them and making an assumption. Some people have been registered to vote since 18 years old, and then they're getting those text messages, calls. They said on social media, you need to be registered to vote. That can be discouraging. I'll put that. I'll say that can be discouraging because there were some people that were speaking about it and they're like, this is really getting on my nerves. I've been registered to vote all my life and I have voted at each election. I think that they need to find out who's registered and who's not, or rather who's not registered, and then harass them because people are feeling harassed at this point.
Yeah, because I got a crazy text message like that or whatever, and I've never missed any election, no election. I
right.
voted. This is the first time I was able to vote. I've not missed an election. No
See what I'm saying?
whatever.
How does that make you feel though when they're sending that to you?
Unsure. I looked up the place and I was like, well, who are these people, right? And unfortunately I didn't call in, but that's one of the reasons why as soon as I can vote, I will go and check it out, because I'm like, I've never missed an election. So if they purge me, I'm going public. I'm telling you like that. I'm off top. I'm going public.
Go public right here first.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, how am I going to get purged? And I voted consistently since I was able to vote. Since I registered, I've not missed an election.
What about you, Nick? Have you been receiving those calls?
Calls, text messages, emails, my social media. I ignore all of them because I know I'm registered and I ignore.
Okay. So my thoughts on that, when I was getting harassed too, and I felt like, please, can you at least do your homework? If you want me to do something, can you do something and see? And then something clicked in my head. Bing, Mel, maybe you need to check and make sure that you're not purged. So that's my way of like figuring out like what's really going on. Who are these people? We talked about the scammers before, but they're not really saying anything bad. They're just saying, get registered to vote and blah, 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 just making that assumption. And it is discouraging. So I understood some of the people that were commenting on that, but I said, it's a teachable, as Roogle always say, a teachable moment. Maybe you need to check and make sure that you're still, able to vote or registered and not purged, just like he was saying. And he said, y'all heard it right here. If he is purged, he's going public first right here on Shop Talk with Mel. Because what is really going on? That's what you have to ask. What's really going on? Like, is it that, the world is serious? We have Trump in office where it's like, I said, he's a great actor and realize what he is. Let's be honest, even though we knew Reagan was an actor, but let's look at a reality show. This is like a reality show. It's almost like a tit for tat, like child's play. It's like whatever President Obama did, I'll make sure that I'm going to undo it. Whatever he did not do, I'll make sure that I do it. So when you said, Roogle, when you were talking about, creating a legacy, the issue with me, when you create a legacy, and I say reality, follow me here, is because good or bad, notoriety is notoriety, attention is attention. And the author, Dr. What's his name, Roogle, that was on, as far as talking about narcissism? I can't.
Dr. Jay Houston.
Thank you, Jay Houston. I apologize, Jay Houston, if you're watching. I'm like, I just feel like there's some truth to that. There has to be, because you have children. Usually people who will do things for attention or do things, they're making the decision based on them and they're not considering other people, or they don't have like children. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, it's just me and my mom is of age or whatever, but nobody has to deal with the repercussions of what your father has done. You know what I mean? Now in his situation, he has children, and like every time you turn around, he's firing people, or people are going to jail under, that's in his cabinet. And it's like, by any means necessary, let me do what I do. Just like, what was that, Sarah Huckabee? Help me if I'm wrong, please. Chime on in. I think it was Sarah. Was it Sarah Huckabee that the other president liked, and he said, take one for the team? Was that her?
I think you reported that last week.
Yeah. You know what? Because my mind is like, y'all got to excuse me today, but hey, I'm here for a show. I'm like, I don't have it. Y'all know I'm on the road, so I don't even have my notes here. I'm just like straight off the cuff. But it's like he does it not caring about the repercussions that his offsprings may encounter. Like, don't we make decisions based on, our offspring? It's like, well, they're going to have to deal with that. Prime example, Omarosa. When I knew Oni, she's a very nice person. Not to say that she's not a nice person now, but on the show, the reality show, she came off cutthroat. She came off as the villain, and the villain was winning. You understand what I'm saying? But shouldn't have any children. You know what I'm saying? And just like, let's go with Kenya Moore before she had children. Now if you look at her and her personality now that she is a mother, it's turning. Before it was cutthroat on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. It was straight cutthroat. Now,
I'm like, who is Kenya?
I know, don't worry about it, because the people that know what y'all mean.
I was chiming out.
Yeah, we know that. But the people that know, that can relate, they understand. She was the villain in that particular show. And then, so you have, like I said, President Trump is a reality show, man. When he sat there, what was that name of the show? When he'd be like, "You're fired."
The Apprentice.
There you go, The Apprentice. See what I'm saying? Help me here. Let me get my.
And that's what he's running.
I ain't got no tea in me. I need some tea. Then my mind can flow right. Go ahead.
But he's been running this country like he did his show.
Right.
You can't do that. That is for TV. This is real life, bruh. You playing with too many people's lives, and he don't care. He don't even care about the Republicans for real.
Right. You know that because he was on that one show, Sally Jesse Raphael, and he said he'll run for president. He wasn't even a Republican at the time. You remember that?
1991, he said it.
And it's
called Republicans stupid.
Yes, I'm glad I wasn't the only one that's seen that, and that's stuck in my head. And guess
what? Obviously, they are stupid because they still voted him in.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, Nick. Just like what Roogle he actually said it at the beginning. It is party over people. But he didn't say it like that. That's just my summation of it. But he actually explained that. It's, with the Republicans, they vote party. Regardless of who's in there, it could be this ink pen. If this ink pen represents the Republicans, we're voting for the ink pen. If the ink pen does not move, nobody shifted, and it's still sitting there, that's all right. We're Republicans. We hardcore Republicans, and this is what we're voting for, and this is what
let's be fair though too on that. There is there is a movement of Republicans that are they are promoting and raising and fundraising for Joe Biden. Even though, like for example, John Kasich is a Republican governor, and he spoke at the convention, at the Democratic convention. Now, I'm not a fan of John Kasich at all, right?
Me either, but we're Ohioans.
But the point is that like they're trying to show like through this that, even though we say we have these conservative values, this is not the guy that should be championing those things, because he hasn't done so, and he's not making America great again. He's doing some things to make it, to set us back hundreds of years, really. So
okay.
So not all, the thing is, not all the Republican voters are going to be monolithic on this on this election, but you don't know that until the ballots are cast, right? You know what I mean? You don't, people talk, you don't know that, but so but there's still people right now who are claiming to be undecided. I heard there was a young Republican guy who said he was undecided, and he's a Republican. I forgot, but he's over like a youth, like a young Republicans, environmental guy, right? And he's like, there's a lot of young Republicans that are really concerned about the environment, even though the Republicans that are in power ignore climate change and all that sort of stuff. So he was saying that he was undecided about voting for Trump simply because during the RNC and in his recent conversations about what he's running for, he has not mentioned the environment. And actually he's done a lot of things to roll back regulation that will harm the environment. So, so there are people that are undecided, and sometimes it seems like they're one issue voters. Because but the environment was a strong point for this gentleman. And that was reported on NPR yesterday.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair to say. Now let's move forward to the all lives matter phrase. How do you feel about the all lives matter phrase?
All lives don't matter until ours start to matter.
Okay,
Then it will be all lives matter.
Okay, go ahead, Roogle.
I think when people utter that, I think that whole idea is that we understand that. You know what I mean? The issue is that we're talking about where there's a deficit in equity and equality for people, right? So I mean, like, so when we have like different laws and like equal opportunity employment and all those other things like that, it's saying that there is a deficit in what we're doing to be equitable to these particular groups of people. And I think that's what Black Lives Matter is focusing on. It is that when people say that other phrase or they bring in other stuff, is this rhetoric to take the attention off of what's not happening for these people who are underserved.
Thank you. Okay, when I hear all lives matter, I have to ask the question, you know, those people that say all lives matter, I have to ask the question, well, for those who say all lives matter, why aren't you upset either? And that's it. If it truly, if you really believe that all lives matter, why aren't you as upset? And I will say with the Breonna Taylor situation, and even with the social injustices that were occurring, you know, during this whole time, the whole time we've been, you know, punishment, sitting down and being able to actually focus. So I thank God for us having that time out, because we were actually able to focus and wasn't so busy as far as, okay, to us, yeah, here's another life, and we're like another injustice. And then we have others, I call them cotton, that will say, oh, okay, there's another, okay, they died. What were they doing? What's going on? And I'm gonna put this in here just for the sake of conversation. Have you guys ever heard the phrase, well, what were they doing to get shot?
All the time.
Right. Now I was talking to someone 2 days ago in the Youngstown, Ohio area, and we do have it, but it was in Struthers. That young baby who was shot, 4 years old, killed. Oh, whoever did it, they're scum, they're this, they're that. Now follow me, because we gonna talk race. We keeps it real on Shop Talk with Mel, okay? Here's what happened. A Black person said, what was that baby doing up at 2 a.m. in the morning?
Boom.
Let me tell you how the room shifted. Now, we hear, I just wanted to ask, because I know it's not just me. I wanted to ask that question. Have you heard where they said, what was he doing or what was she doing to get shot? Is there really a reason? You know what I mean? And you're like, let me see what's going on. But then in this situation, a Black woman asked, what was that baby doing up at 2 o'clock in the morning? And everybody went nuts.
Was the baby outside, or was the baby in the house?
The baby was in the house at 2 in the morning.
So the baby wasn't outside at the club?
No, this whole situation happened at home.
The baby
wasn't in the house. The
baby wasn't outside on the porch smoking a cigarette.
No.
I'm just trying to figure this out, because I'll tell you this, as a parent, and even for myself, there's times where I'm up at 2 o'clock. I'm in my house. I'm up, right? In my house, up, right? And have you not had a child to wake up in the middle of the night?
No. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Or to go to the bathroom, anything.
I do it every night.
But
wait a minute, go ahead, Nick.
The reason she asked that is because of the narrative of how they always do us. Well, what was he doing? So, of course, I understand why she asked that question. I mean, everybody knows that babies ain't gonna sleep all night, especially if they hear you up or they got to go to the bathroom or don't feel good or whatever. My question, though, is where was the mama?
There.
They said she was gone. How you leaving your 4-year-old child with a house full of people and you don't know? In this day and age, you don't know who doing what to yours.
I don't know this story.
Let me clear this up first.
I don't know this story.
Let me say this. This is all alleged because it's at this time, you know, they're trying to go into the details to see who the shooter was, the whole nine. I really, in this situation, let's keep it 100. And let's be open-minded. I wanted to bring that up because you have Breonna Taylor, just like you said. Breonna Taylor was in her bed sleep and she got killed. So do you ask, well, what was she doing? She was asleep, huh? Yeah. Well, who was she around? And did you have the people to say, you know, the company that you keep? Here's the same example, the company that you keep with this baby. And that's why I'm saying that the baby is up at 2 o'clock. But when that question, when that female said, what was the baby doing up at 2 o'clock in the morning? She's a mother as well. And I guess, and this is all alleged, I guess the guy had the gun to the baby's head and the mother pleaded, don't kill my child.
Wow, hold on. Yeah. I wish you would have said all of this before you went into asking us our opinion.
No, I need your opinion. I want the
no, because you okay, it has nothing to do with the baby being up. If there's a murderer that's attempting to shoot the baby in the head,
listen to it. It has everything to do with it because they always, and I'm saying they with air quotes, always the question is, what were they doing to get killed with us, regards to us? We could be at work. Oh, well, maybe that trying to find another reason as to why. That's why I said like Breonna Taylor. What was she was killed? What was she doing to get killed? Oh, let's find an excuse. It was the company that she keeps. She wasn't even with that guy. They found out, 3 to 4 hours earlier that guy didn't even live at that address, but still you went in and you did it and you killed her. And the person that got time, he got time for shooting and a bullet going through the neighbors, not killing her, a bullet going through the wall into a neighbor's apartment. That's why he's in jail. And that's crazy. What was his name? What is that man's name? Lorenzo? Was it Lorenzo Johnson? Some police officer. And then, look, because you see I'm segueing in to the Breonna Taylor. And then they had backup, and with the backup, they had the body cams on. But not those 3 people didn't have the body cams on when they went in to shoot in Breonna Taylor's apartment. What is it? The no knock, or what is that? What is that rule or law they have down there?
That's just. He needs to get time. All 3 of them need to get time for that, because you are in a day and age where you need to keep your body cam on at all times. And why is it that everybody else but them 3 had it on that went in there shooting? Yeah, they should have got at least 10 years on top of whatever else. But listen, just like that officer didn't get no time for killing her, but they brought this back up again. Remember a couple years back when that black officer killed that white lady? And look how much time he doing. So guess what, y'all? The narrative is never the same when it comes to us. And it's not going to be. We are going to have to fight and fight and fight, but it's never the same when it comes to us. It's always going to be a question, well, what were you doing? Well, you should comply and this and that. But when they don't comply, then it's all kind of compassion. Well, they don't have to because of this and that officer was wrong, because that's probably the next point you might bring up about what happened at that football game. Now, it was okay for her not to comply with the officers or the school asking whatever, but let it have been a black person. You should have complied. You should have listened.
So for those of you who don't know what happened at the football game, this lady refused to put her mask on, and she was outside in the bleachers.
Are
you familiar with that one, Roogle?
No.
Well, we will keep you informed. Let me finish telling. Okay. So this white lady was there and she refused to put her mask on. He asked her to leave. She refused to leave. He did tase her, right? Or mace her.
He tased her, but it was after she kept resisting.
Right. And guess what? Guess who's suspended? Him, the officer.
But he would have been commended if it was one of us.
Yes.
Was he a white officer?
Yes.
Okay.
You sure?
He looked to be.
I have to look at that again. I thought it was a black officer.
Okay, he must be light skinned. We're gonna have to look and see.
And
But
yeah, I'm gonna have to look at it again because I seen somebody post a video and he looked like he was black, but I'm gonna go look at it again. But if he was a black man,
you go to researcher, he gonna find out. Roogle, look this up for me. Ben Crump. Ben Crump is the attorney that actually is known for representing the racial justices, those type cases.
Okay.
I want to know how many cases did he actually represent, or how many cases did he take on? That's the question. How many cases did he take on? Because
I can tell you how many he won.
I know what is a little over 200, right?
Yeah.
I'm wondering how many cases did he have? Because let's be real with the if you won a little over 200 and you took on 2,000, yeah, you know what I mean?
That's 10%. That's pretty good when you consider everything that's.
I'm gonna need somebody like some for real. And the reason I say that is because people tend to hire black attorneys because they are black, but they still have that issue as well, where they don't know all the loopholes and they don't win. I met this one cocky black attorney, honey, let me tell you, thought he was bombed only because he was a black attorney. And the goal was, you take the plea deals, you do what you do, but he's so arrogant that judges can't even stand him. And the people that he represents, they end up getting the bad end of the stick because they don't like that particular attorney.
So this is from an article in the Washington Post. It says each case remains singular. It's its own set of horrendous circumstances, yet a shared mission. Well, let me skip that. Okay, Crump turns down a dozen requests for every case he takes, selecting ones that will shock the conscience of the American people.
Okay.
So let's say, okay, based off of your narrative about the 2,000, right? Because let's just say
I just did a little number.
Well, what does it say that, right? Because if he won over 200 of them, and he takes one in every dozen.
Oh, okay. So he's taking one that he knows is a sure win.
Yeah, what he's taking on is the ones that are the worst, right?
Ones that he knows. Okay.
That's what it's saying. So I'm trying to look here if there's any more issues on that. But so he could, let's say he got 2,000, he turned down 2,000 cases just to get those two. He needs to get those 200 ones.
Okay.
Or 200 ones that he thought were important. Let me just Google and see how many cases have he.
That's what I was wondering, how many overall. But what he did say is that he's not going to give up on the Breonna Taylor without a manslaughter or a murder charge. He said he's not giving up. That situation, it is really, really sad. Somebody come kicking in my door. That's not even her boyfriend at the time. And what they did for her, that she was an EMT. She was out here saving lives, an essential worker. And you couldn't find anything bad on her. So then you're like, okay, well, it's the company that she keeps. Well, guess what? She's not even with that guy that you said that you were going after. You knew 4 hours. They put that information out there that he did not live there, but you went on ahead and did it anyway. The new boyfriend, he should not be charged for shooting at the officer, because can you imagine, I'm sleeping, there's somebody kicking in. I think that you are a burglar.
Right.
And they didn't give any opportunity. I guess you're supposed to fire off a warning shot first. That's what they focused that on, a warning shot first, and then that one. But you had the fire exchange, and then you kill somebody that sleeps. She wasn't even coming towards you. So did you loosely just start shooting all around? Clearly you have. You were shooting all around. Did you shoot at the wall? So I can't remember how many shell casings they found, but they said it was several. And that's when he went to, he was on a $1 million bond for shooting not at the person. for shooting through the walls, everything that he didn't hit, but nothing for her. And he says that's the officer. He says that he's filing a charge for he's filing charges against anybody that calls him a murderer.
Well, then he might as well start filing charges against the whole damn population. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me, dang, against the whole population then, because he is a murderer. You killed an innocent person who was sleeping, that didn't have anything to do with the situation or who you was looking for. She no longer had, and even if they were still together, the problem is she was not the one you were looking for. Her boyfriend was, or the ex-boyfriend. But say they were still together.
And that was the last known address they
the last one, exactly.
came
She
out
was
later.
an innocent person. Now, my thing is, let's take it there, because this is what we do. Like you said, what if it was a black officer and a white woman? He would have been gone 20 plus years, whatever. That's why I'm always gonna say this when it comes. The narrative is never the same when it comes to our skin. So I need some of our black people to come on back. Get your brain in order. Stop, you know what I mean? Because sadly enough, it looks like we're coming up on a race war. And it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse with certain things, you know, and I don't have any children. I have nieces and nephews that I love dearly and I'll kill a rock over. But this is one of the reasons why I'm glad maybe the Lord did not bless me with children, because of what's going on now. Because it's sad when you have to have that talk with your children, especially your black sons, starting from little.
Let me say
about
lying.
Yeah, that's
going on now. It's going on.
I mean, but it's been going on, but it hasn't come to the forefront, and it's starting to get worse. It's like,
I agree with you 99.9%. It's being revealed now. That's why I said, you know, even though President Trump is in office and some of us are not in agreement to that, him being in office, I believe it needed to be, because guess what?
Now they brought this to the forefront.
Yes, right here you go. What we've been saying the whole time. I told my friend Radina, and I said, here you go. We have the same last name. I said, when I leave the house, I said, when you leave the house, you represent your family. White girl, Radina, my girl, my dog. When I leave the house, I represent our entire race, my sexuality, you know, and my, you know, me being a female, my gender, you know, I represent all of that. And just like, guys, that's why they say, why is it that black men have high blood pressure? The stress. You have a white man, you know, if you have just, and say you're not into anything, you have a black male and you have a white male, not into anything, doing everything, but let's Roogle. You driving, Roogle, let's use Roogle, okay? Driving down the street, the police drive by. In your mind, regardless, and I'm a female and have this, in my mind, I'm like, playing back everything. Did I get my tags done? Did I get this done? Because I know there's a possibility that I may be pulled over just because of my skin color. Whereas a white guy, they be like, F you, they can yell out and do whatever they want to do, and they'll drive all as well. That's just my theory on having why they say most black men have high blood pressure, hypertension. Because we are constantly being harassed. And people refuse to believe that's what it is. And you have something that's like, oh, okay, you might have missed the mark. No, you're not doing anything. And the question is, well, what were you doing that you feel like that you may, you're stressed out, that you feel like that you may be picked on? Why do you feel like at the job they're picking on you? Because
I'm black. Because of my skin color.
Exactly. Now you have some gays that, and I love my gays, they know I do, that said remember that gay is the new black? Piss me off royally.
Yeah.
Piss me off royally. Why? You are telling people who you laying down with. We don't see that.
Well, the issue, I would say the issue is that when you say something is the new something, you're saying that the problems with those particular people no longer exist.
Now that's true too.
You know what I'm saying? And that's not the case. Those they are still perpetuated in our society. You know what I mean? I mean, if they wanted to say that the civil rights work is being done for gays like it was done for blacks at one point in time, now that would be a true statement.
Now, let me say this. Wait, when you say gay is the new black, I heard you, but let me finish this. When you're gay, I don't know who's in your bedroom. You have to tell me that. When you are black, we just walk out the door and you see it on us. So we can't reveal it. Them coming out, I get it. And when they started saying that, when I first heard it, it was when President Obama allowed them to get married and all that other stuff. Remember
well, the Supreme Court said that marriage was constitutional.
Right, but during that time is when I actually heard that phrase, and I had a problem with it. I was like, no, it's not, and it will never be. But you brought up as far as like assimilations. Now, go ahead.
I just wanted to say this one thing though, for clarity though. Not for clarity. This is another perspective. That you remember when, and it probably still happens when gay people were getting bashed and stuff like that. You know, gay bashing. Like when, hey, they weren't in their bedrooms. They were walking down the street and they get jumped by somebody because
that is not okay.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, it's not like it just, you know, it's not like, I mean,
that's another perspective though. You're right.
So I mean, like, it's not just a thing like, I mean, the discrimination that they face is not just like, I think for us not to mention that they get attacked for no reason, just like black people get attacked for no reason. I mean, those things happen, you know.
I agree with you on that one. I agree with you on that, and that is not okay. Just like the cake baker. Remember we talked about that? The guy that refused to bake you bake cake or you don't.
Okay.
Yeah, you're like, wait a minute, where's she at?
I didn't hear what you said. I thought I was like, the caper.
Oh no, the cake baker.
Oh, okay.
When, you know, it's like you make cakes or you don't. You know what I mean? Just like Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is not open on Sunday. They still making money. It's like either you like my product or you don't. So it's all about perspective. It's all about opinions, and everyone has one, and it's up to them to do whatever they want to do for their business. Either, you know, sink or swim. That's it in a nutshell. Sink or swim, people. We're trying to swim, but for some unknown reason, they keep pouring more water on us to say, okay, to drown us. And if they can't get you physically, they'll get us mentally. That movie, Get Out, amazing movie. Amazing movie. Please, everyone, watch that. I mean, there's some truths in that. You gotta know it. You gotta know it, though. There's some truths in that, and it is more than a movie, because I had my son and his friends go see it. Listen, when they went, so you're talking like early 20s. I said, I'll pay for y'all to go see it. I want y'all to go see it. They're like, oh, okay. Listen, they left out of that mug talking about something. That was a scary movie. I know it was, just sports people.
You need to watch Antebellum. If you didn't watch it, you need to watch it.
Did you?
When I finished watching that Roogle, I was like, I need to talk to Roogle, because I was pissed off.
We're gonna talk about Roogle gonna have his moment for the movie part, but let's segue into this. The Kardashians.
Yeah, cancel.
Yeah, well, not cancel. They ended it.
Cancel.
Yeah.
Cancel culture.
What's your thoughts on the Kardashians? We saw them grow up. Oh, you like Peace too, Nick? You done with them too?
I ain't watched that mess. I think I watched one show. They ain't doing nothing for me. Why am I gonna waste my life watching them? I mean, I do watch some reality, and then lately I haven't been watching reality shows because I'm like, I got my own reality that I got to deal with. I ain't worried about none of them fools. I'm not. Shoot,
but it is entertaining. It is definitely entertaining.
Yeah,
because y'all know I like
to know how they really are.
I watch my Ratchet TV. And I don't watch it all the time, but when I get the chance to, I'll see what else somebody else got going on. Like, oh my gosh, look at them. And I have to keep up to keep you guys informed to tell y'all what's happening on the reality TV. Now, I do have my favorite shows. I'm okay with the Kardashians ending it. I will say when Bruce Jenner went to the other side, well, actually, when he had the sex change and he liked to dress in women's clothing. And when they asked him, remember he got the spinoff show from the Kardashians and then it was canceled. And I think it was more of attention. And that's why he wanted it, just for attention, and it didn't work out for him. So the Kardashians, they're done. The little girl, she's like a billionaire, the little small, the youngest one. What's her name? Kylie?
Kylie.
Kylie, yeah. And then the other one, Kendall, is a Victoria's Secret model. And then the Kardashians from Rob Kardashian, who represented O.J. Simpson, trying to catch my people up that don't know, his three daughters, what is Courtney, Kim, and Chloe, and they're doing well. And I think people are just tired. And Kim, not Kim, what's the mother's name?
Chris.
She's like, I think, she said, I think it's took its run, it's done. But kudos to Chris, because the way the Kardashians came out, we know, is from a sex tape being leaked from Kim and Ray J. So Ray J, I think Ray J deserves the award. He was a, what was he?
Because he brought them to the forefront.
Yeah, she was like the co-star. He's a co-star in it. He's the one that did it. The star, she was the co-star, and Mom took that opportunity and said, okay, it's out here. Let's introduce you to the world. Even though they knew that Paris Hilton, she's just chilling. Kim and Paris were best friends. And so that's how you kind of like, how do I know this person? See, Roogle didn't know all of that, but I
know that.
Oh,
I know that together. But I'm just saying, like, well, one reason they were canceled was viewership dropped, and they won't, and they're not willing to pay them the same amount of money that they were paying them before. So
viewership would leave. I figured they go out on the bang like Seinfeld did. I really miss Seinfeld, but remember he left on a high.
If you done made all the millions of money, all the millions of dollars they made off of really just not doing really nothing. I'm talking about the businesses and all that stuff, but just like people watching the show just because they want to see how they live, that ridiculousness. You already went out in a bang. You know what I mean? Come on. I think right now I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. Like, I don't care about housewives. I don't care about none of that kind of stuff. Like, I think it's ridiculous.
Do you?
I do.
Unless you're a housewife.
Right?
Or even a wife. Look, yeah. Right, Nick? Or even a wife.
Right.
Yeah, just like we watch a show called 90 Day Fiance or whatever, and at first it was interesting because it's talking about the international, the people that are, somebody lives in Japan and somebody lives in America, they get married or whatever. But then it's like a spin-off and all this other, like, I'm like, yeah, this is not, before it was cutting edge, now it's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let me bring y'all that. Look, bring that to you. Nene Leakes is no longer on that, air quotes again. Allegedly, they're not paying her the amount of money that she requires to be paid. The way that she acted last season was way too much for me. And she was like a big baby, closing her computer down, blah, blah, blah. I'm not really interested in Nene with her storyline. However, she is the face of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But she's not coming back for season 13. You stay off, Roogle, and let me do what I have to do because I already see your face. So you stay right off. I don't know if Cynthia Bailey's back on. Eva Marcel, who won Top Model, she's off now too. So we'll see. And then they have some other people that's coming on. I'll see, because I got to keep y'all up on the reality TV. And it used to be good because I like Sheree that was on there too because she was hilarious. See, Nick didn't like Sheree. You ain't like Sheree?
I want to punch her in her face.
Uh-oh. Now
her and Kenya Moore.
Okay, look, okay, wait, Roogle, wait. Let me get the Real Housewives. And I also like this is one I like. They took over Real Housewives of Potomac. I like Real Housewives of Potomac, and that is with the ex-wife of Bryant, Jamal Bryant. So Giselle Bryant, Karen Huger, what's the one girl's name? Candace and Monique. You know, they're bringing the energy. So I do like Housewives of Potomac. That is my new fave. I'll keep you informed on anything good that's really going on. But shout out to Giselle. And what's Giselle's sidekick? That said that we only know her as
Robin.
Robin. I'm like, we only know her as she need to be like a friend of the show. Because her story is, but she need to be a friend of the show. But all right, so I said that. Look, I said that. Now, what's your thoughts on the reality, the Housewives franchise? I
just had something to add about the one. Sheree was the one who was married to the ex-football player,
right?
And she tried to sue him or something, and he beat him. He came into court with some shorts on and beat him. I remember that episode. That was like, it's ridiculous, you know. Not that he defended himself, but like, yeah, it was ridiculous.
And he had Phaedra, which was a housewife.
Yeah,
remember, Sheree had Phaedra as her attorney.
Yeah, as her attorney.
Beat her girl, and he didn't. She was mad at Phaedra for losing.
Well, I mean, I think it was beyond her losing. It was just the fact that like she was just kind of this, like, she could have represented herself better by herself than what she did, you know?
Right, and she just hired her.
Obviously, it ain't that hard because the dude did it.
Right. I used to like Phaedra, but I lost respect for her when that last show that she was on. She did too much that season and almost caused Candy to lose everything. Yeah, now she know better than that. And you're an attorney and you doing something like that.
But she knew not to do it. She had Portia do it.
Exactly. So I lost respect for Phaedra. And other than that, Phaedra was my girl up until then.
Tell me this. I have a question for you guys. Do you, in any cases as such, let's say an attorney, do you hire your friends to do work for you, or do you hire somebody major work? Or do you hire somebody outside? Like, say if you need, let's say if you had like a friend and you wanted your house remodeled and you know they were in the business, do you hire your friend? Or let's say if it's an attorney, do you hire your friend or do you hire someone that you don't know?
I got to know what their experience is like. I need to know what they rating from other customers, you know, okay. Strangers are like.
So my question again, listen to the question. Do you hire your friend or do you hire someone outside that you don't know?
I mean, yeah, well, if it's my friend, I got to know your rating. If you ain't, look, if you don't have no good rating with everybody else, I'm sorry, we friends and we're going to remain friends, but I'm going to give my money to this person over here because they obviously are more experienced. So to me, whether it's your friend or not, I got to see what your experience is, what your rating is.
Okay, go ahead, Roogle.
I would say first thing I would say is you know your friends that are really good at the crafts that they do based off of like your conversations with them and then what you have seen of them, right? So if someone says, "Oh, I do home decoration," and you go in there and they're their friend, you've been in their house, right? And you're like, "Oh yeah, this is what's up," right? So you have like that example there. I think that the distinction for me would be having someone that is knowledgeable that's a friend versus having a friend that's kind of like, I could do it, you know, and you could pay me, you know what I mean? And you'd be like, I'd be like, no, those people, I'm like, nah, I'm cool, you know what I mean? But that other person, I'm like, yeah, I'm with it, because I expect that person, since they're a professional in that field, that they're going to honor the work that they do, right? And when I say honor, like, okay, if we have a lifetime warranty or whatever on this, you're going to come and do that. I'm trusting in your business acumen that you're going to honor the work that you've done. You know what I mean? Versus like, it's somebody that I know who I'm paying like a really, you know, I'm paying somebody not a professional wage to do it. So you kind of get what you get, you know? I think the other thing with that is the flip side of that, does that friend with that skill want to do work for you?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's certain times where I've been offered stuff and I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm cool. Because, you know, I know that, you know, I'll try to say, hey, this is what you can do. But as far as like taking on that role for somebody I already know how they are, nah, I'm cool. We can be friends, but we can't be friends that work that we have a business relationship with. You know what I mean?
Okay, and that's respectable. Now, here's my thing. When you have friends, friends, family, whatever, I don't expect, I don't do, let me tell you, I have a professional. The professional, here's Mel, Shop Talk with Mel. Here's my paperwork. We are friends. You want me to give you a deal? I'm not doing it. This is what the stranger has to pay. This is what you have to pay. And I'm going to give you 100% of me. Now, on the flip side, you have people who will hire, okay, well, you're an attorney, I'll hire you, you're my friend, or you're Black, support the Black business, here you go. But you're losing. Just like Nick was saying, I need to see how many cases you won. Or do you want your friend to be, if you have that relationship and it's personal, do you want your friends to be your attorney, you know, with those thoughts in your mind of how many other people may know my business? Are they professionals? Are they over at this house saying, hey, this is what I had to do and I know A, B, C, and D? You know, you understand what I mean? Just like, okay, just like with something small and minute. I would take my clothes to the cleaners, support Black business. Twice I went. It was just twice, but I like my pieces and they weren't from here. When I went back the first time, they could not find mine. Then they found mine, and then it was deodorant stains under the bottom. Problem. Okay, so did you clean my outfit, wear it, and then here it appears? Second time, another item is not there. You lost it. So you want to pay me for it. Well, I didn't even get it in this country. Do I want to pay you for it? Or do I want payment for it? I want my outfit that I came up here and I brought it here to be clean. Whereas if I go out and take my business outside, do I think they will, you know, wear your clothes? They probably do, but we don't frequent the same places. So I won't see them. And Roogle, you looking all bewildered. Listen, this stuff happened. Nick, tell him this stuff happened. People, you take your clothes to the cleaners and people will wear them.
They're going to take it.
Yeah, or they take it and then be like, hey, here you go, boom. And you don't see them anymore. So that's what I'm wondering, like, and I don't even take nothing to the cleaners. Now my stuff is like spray, steam it, Febreze it, you know, until I really have to take it. But people will do that, just like cars. People will go, I want my car fixed, and they tell you, okay, your car be fixed, you at the backyard boogie, you know what I mean? They're like bay 1 and bay 2, and it's 2 driveways where houses used to be. And they tell you your car gonna be ready next Saturday. And then when you come, your car is not there. Why? Because, and then here come their wife rolling up with groceries in the back. Why are you driving my car to go to the grocery store when your husband's supposed to be fixing it? That's why I don't go to no backyard boogies. That's why I'm full with family. I'm telling you, or friends when I do business. But that was a Shop Talk question. So I had to present it and to hear you guys' side and view on that particular issue. And I will take you to court. Now, I don't want to mess up a family friend. Are you bonded and insured? Because I will take you to court if it's not done correctly. I don't want that. I'll be back. I had a painter come to my house. The wife that dropped the baby off, and here the baby is here. And I'm sure I shared this with you. Why is this baby here? So now this baby, I'm babysitting while you're supposed to be painting. Because the baby can't be in your way. Here I am giving the baby popsicles and everything. I'm like, you know what? I can't. I just want the work to be done. Am I wrong?
No. But the mother was wrong for dropping that baby off when she knew her husband was working.
Absolutely. But what is he going to, and see, that's why I end up babysitting. What is he going to do if he's working?
Bruh, you gonna have to come back when y'all got y'all babysitting situation together, because my house ain't baby proof.
Right. Well, you know, but you can't take it out on the baby. And the baby's
Right.
all the other stuff. Like, how do I entertain this baby while I get my house painted? Do I pay you the full amount, or do you pay me babysitting fees? So here I am. You
Give
know,
him minus the baby. Give him whatever the amount is minus your babysitting fees. Here you go, because you brought your baby and I had to babysit while you was working. Y'all should have made arrangements.
I get it. And here's the thing: the compassion in me is clearly he needs it because he don't have a ride. He didn't drive himself. So he needs all of his money, and he's trying. And it's like when somebody is trying, let me help you try. Where the mother just dropped the baby off. I'm looking like, who's this little person out here? So now I'm babysitting, trying to entertain until he finishes this part because he had to come back tomorrow. He was very apologetic, but come on. How do you get out of that? You're a guy. You didn't have them problems.
How do you get out of that? You don't schedule jobs when you know you got to have your kids. I
think he knew.
You didn't know.
No, the mama probably just did one of them numbers. Where you at? Oh, okay, boom. Because you have some females like that that'll just drop the child off. Listen, this is your child too. I don't care what you're doing.
So
you do have some people like that.
Said, I'm at work. He couldn't have said, hey, I'm working and I'll call you back if it's not an emergency. He had to get the location of where he was at.
And he could have.
You got to take some responsibility for that. I can't, she may have been wrong to do that because she knew he couldn't watch him, but come on now. Because I don't know, are they together or are they not together?
I don't know their personal situation. All I know is I just hired you to paint my house, and you came to paint my house, and here I heard this little voice that was out there on the porch sitting on the steps, and he was trying to entertain. Here, stay right here, and here's a ball that my daughter had in the garage, trying to entertain him. But how do you entertain a 4-year-old and you paint the house without that child being injured? He didn't invite the baby in. He kept the baby outside, but it's a 4-year-old. No, we got to entertain this little. So now I'm the babysitter. Not that they asked me to be the babysitter, but for safety reasons, because I'm looking at the safety. I don't need you to fall off that ladder or anything. But that I got a backyard boogie. You know what I mean? That's what I didn't get a professional painter where that doesn't happen. And if something occurs, guess what? I get to sue you and give me my money back, or you come and fix this. Not okay. I'll get around to it. I'll be back next week. Oh, I don't have a babysitter. You have all those things to take into consideration. So I just think that me personally, I won't do business with friends unless it was a professional relationship and then we became friends. That's when I'll know, okay, here you go. Because if you know me, I'm gonna tell y'all off top, boom, you got to do it or I'll take you to court. Just like that one girl, remember she came over my house? She came over my house with my sister and then she failed talking about something. I might have to call your insurance. I said, for what? I ain't invite you. Listen, I'm like, I didn't invite you over here. Why are you here? I'm not even at home. You're not even my friend. So guess what? I said, you go right ahead if you feel you need to. She didn't. But to say that you have people that are out there that deliberately do things to make a come up. Nah, you go right ahead. I said, you go right ahead. I told my sister, I said, you need to get your girl together. I said, are you paying for this? Because I ain't invite her over. I wasn't there. You ain't even come to see me. You just with her. No. You're okay. And talk about something you slipped on some ice. Girl, bye. What ice? You got them big white chunks out there and some Morton's table salt that I put out too.
Morton's.
But you do have people that will just sue, like renters insurance. They just do things deliberately to make a come up, and it's not right. So that's why, and I tell people, don't invite people to my house with you. If I invite one or two, if I invite you to my house, I invited you to my house. That is my house. Now, if it's at a public event and you want to bring somebody else, come on, come one, come all. But when you come into my home, no, you don't bring nobody else into my house.
Unless I tell you it's +1, don't bring nobody else.
And guess what? Your +1 better be who I think it should be, because you ain't bringing somebody that's coming to my house when everybody leave either. Because see, they like to come back. You already know. I know You be sitting there
Right.
with the butt, and they done came back. You be like, well, who done broke into my house? Ain't nobody here. No, don't trust it. All right, let's move on to this. Here's another Shop Talk question of the week. You're babysitting a child, and you have girls, and you're polishing their nails, and the little boy says he wants his nails polished. Do you polish them?
No.
Without the consent of the parents. Let me say that. What about you, Roogle?
I think that you do a foul and buff.
Okay.
Because what he really wants to be is included, I think. You know, I don't.
This is like a 2-3-year-old. Yes.
Yeah, it's so like when people like, I don't think it's an issue about what's appropriate sexually and all that others, you know, from a gender perspective or whatever. I think it's just one of those things where they want to be included. You know, they're like, hey, everybody else is doing this. Why ain't I doing it? You know what I mean?
And we are the same age.
Yeah, so let's get them involved with what would be appropriate for what you believe their parents would think would be appropriate for them to do, right? But I don't think that you should be painting kids' nails anyway, though, really, right? I mean, just randomly painting kids' nails, I don't know about that.
Just randomly painting, because you know what? I
wasn't. I'm froze.
She look froze.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess. Oh, she back.
Who, me?
Yeah, you were frozen for a minute there.
Oh, okay. I was wondering where it went. See, the Zoom, for the listening audience that's out there, the Zoom, the internet, I guess so many people are using the internet now that it's slowing things down. But y'all know I'm still on the go, so I'm staying at a hotel. And let me tell you about this. Hopefully this is the last Saturday that I'll be in a hotel. Last night, I guess somebody got caught. And I said, here we go. I hope this don't happen during the show. You can hear him walking past the room. She told me, I hope it fall off. So I said, uh-oh. No. Walk past your door, you know, and I'm sitting there, and she had to be loud. Then somebody else said on the other side, I guess it was Rump City, because on the other side of me, I heard the guy, he said, you gonna get us thrown out of here. So something happened on the left and on the right. I don't even know if it was on the right. She was walking down the hallway talking about she hoped his mother effing, you know what, fall off. I said, well, it's jumping Friday night.
Wow.
Right. So I said, oh, please let this be the last one. Now, see, nothing jumped off last Saturday until Saturday night. Yesterday was Friday night. I said, oh, I forgot this. Look, I forgot this is what hotels was for.
It's no longer for guests coming from out of town.
I need to stay at a hotel until my place get where it needs to be. Listen, I forgot all about that. That tell you my age. And then how about somebody knocks on my door in the morning? And you thinking it's like housekeeping or something like that. Like last week it was housekeeping, but it was early. Knock, knock, knock. It was a guy. You know what I did? I knocked back. I just knocked back. I was like, knock, knock, knock. What do you want? Oh, I'm sorry. I had the wrong room. Keep it moving. So, and I had to run out and get my little coffee. They did me right this time. I ain't messing with that pumpkin spice. It's pumpkin spice. It's fall, y'all. Pumpkin spice season. Look, that's what it is. Look at you, Nick. You ain't for it. What about you, Roogle?
I only drink my coffee black, and I may have a squirt of hazelnut in there, maybe. But no, I'm a traditionalist. I'm a fundamentalist.
Wait a minute, though.
Huh?
You remember the black coffee, Nick? Were you there when when Roogle was like, yeah, I drink my coffee black? Roogle asked the guy, because he wanted to meet Roogle, right? He asked the guy, he was like, did you ask him if he wanted black coffee? Oh, he said the way you had it?
Yeah.
Trying to show up. Were you there, Nick?
Is that when he just started cutting up? It was moving and you had to keep doing hand gestures at him like.
Yes, you can. That was the funniest thing. And it was really nice. It's like, okay, here's a grown man that really respects another grown man. And he like, okay, well, I'm just going to hair on my chest. So yeah, I'm gonna drink my coffee black. Me and Nick, we on the caramel macchiato. We on the, we like coffee in our caramel macchiatos.
Yeah,
Right.
the most exotic thing I probably drink is chai tea. That's probably it.
That's it.
Yeah, you know, I get little soy foamy foam on there or whatever. But I like all that like iced coffee and wrap of
You said that iced coffee reminds you of dirty dishwater.
Yeah, I'm never
like dirty dishwater. How many days have your dishwater been in the sink, Roogle?
Nah, I'm just saying, like, when you be having like, it's like holiday dirty dishwater, you know?
Oh,
You just gotta just like, you be like, it's time to change. Like, you just be, when you get that one pot, you just be scrubbing, like, and then you look at the water, like,
change
I gotta change the water.
Well, guess what?
But I mean, it happens that quick.
Dishwater.
It happens that quickly. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not like it's like, well, let's just have this sink, let's just have it soaking in the sink for 3 days or something like that. No, I'm just saying, like, you know, it just, I don't know.
He ain't right. He ain't right.
A holiday with the family over, just dirty dishes all over the place. Yeah. Well, listen, moving on to talk about, moving on to family. Michael Jackson's cousin, Marcia Stewart. Listen, she went to the crime scene, you know, right? They found out, you know, Michael Jackson died. She looked over, she said that she saw the IV bag of the propofol, the last one. So she threw it in her purse. And now she's selling it. She is ready to sell that last bag.
So she took something from a crime scene.
Yes, she did.
Oh, was she going to jail?
Right. That's what I said. Well, guess what? According to TMZ, she doing all right because look, they ain't looking for her because she trying to sell Michael Jackson's blood-stained IV bag of propofol, and after so long, it's no good. So it looks, they said like a milky substance, for $2,500. Would you be interested in somebody just giving you that bag? Would you be interested in it?
No.
No.
Let alone sell it. Like,
yeah, the crazy part about it is like, how's she gonna be selling drugs? You know what I mean? Like how you sell drugs on the internet? Like how you do that? Like, she ain't a pharmacist, she ain't a doctor, she ain't prescribing that for nobody. Like I can't say, hey, I'm selling Percocet, you know, or you know what I mean? Like how is she doing that? Right?
Doing it based off of him being Michael Jackson. Now, let me tell you this. Me personally, I don't want it now. He's gone. If he was alive, I'd be like, let me get that bag. But
some people might buy it just because it's something that belonged to Michael Jackson.
Just like the guy that, with Kobe Bryant. When Kobe Bryant passed, remember that guy that had like a whole room of all of his stuff, like a whole locker room or storage space? And then now he's selling it all. But I love Michael Jackson off the wall. I got them albums, you know, right there. Look, I keep it with me at all times. So now y'all know I really like Michael Jackson. And I also got the Thriller album. But I don't want your propofol. I don't want it.
I think that when you selling stuff like that, how do you authenticate that is actually his stuff?
Right. Michael Jackson off the wall. You don't. And so, unless they test that blood.
But how you gonna get the other blood sample to show that it's Michael Jackson's blood though? How do you there's so many loopholes in trying to sell this dope that she doing.
You gotta find her though. Her name is Marcia Stewart. You got to Google Marcia Stewart, then you'll be able to see like, Hunty, are you gonna buy a new wig? Like, what's happening? Because it's a mess. We're gonna research it right now. He's about to look it up. Wait till you see.
Okay, what about the brothers and sister and Miss Catherine? They ain't like reached out to her like, girl, don't do that.
Listen, I think people are so over it now. With, you know what I mean? Not, except his family. I'm sure that they're probably still out there. But an IV bag, they're not even giving any life to it. I'm giving life to it. Me and TMZ. That's who's giving life to it. And it's like, okay.
Man.
You see her?
Yeah, I see her. I see. Hold on, man. What's really going on? Hold on.
Is it a shopping cart? What does she have? She has so much stuff with her.
I see her sitting in a chair
With a whole bunch of stuff.
With a purple jacket. Is that the bag and the needle and everything?
That's the IV. It's not the needle, because the needle we have to remove. It's the IV bag.
Okay. Well, she has like the tubing and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Crazy.
She need that $2,500. She waiting on that stimulus. It ain't came through yet. So what's up with the stimulus?
They haven't passed it. They haven't passed the second round.
Now, since they have the new, he's appointing the judge today at 5.
No, he's naming his nomination.
Naming his nomination. Okay, so we're gonna still have to wait, right? Doesn't that make us wait longer?
For what?
I'm really into politics.
For the stimulus?
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean the issue is that the Senate, they're more worried about doing this versus helping the American people with that. So the criticism is, if y'all can come together to try to turn this around, why haven't y'all done the work to help the American people?
That's where I'm at. I'm like, I ain't really all into politics like that, but where is my check? Mm-hmm. I'm like, the American people need it. Like they were saying with small businesses, and I thank y'all. I apologize that y'all didn't get a check with the Shop Talk with Mel LLC. I should have did the PUA, and I'd have been able to hear y'all go. So I appreciate, your support and volunteering your time. I didn't know all of that extra stuff. But what do you do with that? And is the people who got the PUA fraudulent? Just like I know some people that was upset somebody stole $300 of their stolen money. I'm mad because you stole my stolen money. What do we are suffering, and what are we supposed to do when you have so many people that were out there doing it fraudulently, and even, with the unemployment, people that really haven't even worked before the pandemic, and
right, and was able to get it.
Have to wait.
Listen, that's the situation my cousin is in now.
Okay.
She was an essential worker, and because of that, she couldn't work anymore because, she was like a wraparound and had clients. She couldn't go to people, at that time you couldn't go to people's houses and stuff. So she's still fighting for her unemployment. The state of Pennsylvania approved it, but her job is fighting it now still, and she has to get an attorney because she found out that someone fraudulently got $8,000 in her name.
Mm-hmm. Don't they like mail it to your house or something? And to my understanding, with that PUA, it goes into your bank account. So if you, a friend of mine that said that she filed for, that's why I'm saying under my, to my knowledge, a friend of mine that filed for the PUA, she tried to put it on like a dummy card, so to speak. And the reason I say dummy card is because we use different cards for the internet versus, your personal bank account. And they told her that they could not distribute it to her via that particular method. It had to go like to the house, I'm thinking. It held up income taxes. If you mailed your income taxes in, people are now getting their income tax behind that from these fraudulent people. So how do we win? The essential workers got screwed overall. I don't care. In a nutshell.
And she got screwed because she's waiting on her income tax as well. It's been approved and everything, but she is waiting on that because of that situation. And now she has to come out of her pocket for an attorney to fight that fraud that was happening so that she can get that off of her record, get her unemployment finally, and get her income tax. I'm like, Chad, you got a lot going on.
She does.
You'll end up paying out more than you get back.
Because it is a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Roogle, what's happening in the movie world?
Wow, I don't know where we should start. If we should just start running down the news or whatever. I'm going to run down some news real quick, okay?
Uh-huh.
All right. The first things first is that, are you familiar with Yara Shahidi?
The name sounds familiar, but
She's the daughter off of Blackish that had her spinoff show called Grownish.
yeah.
Guess who she's gonna be playing? She has been cast as Tinkerbell in a live action Peter Pan and Wendy movie by Disney.
All right.
Yeah. So she's doing that. She's gonna be Tinkerbell, which is, hey, that's pretty cool, I'd say. Eva Longoria is to direct a comedy called Spa Day, and an action comedy called Spa Day. So we'll see. That's under Sony Pictures. We'll see what that's going to be about. And have you heard of the show Cuties? Anyway, there's been a controversy on Netflix about it because I guess there's a scene in the show or movie. I haven't watched it. But where there was a controversy because there's like this scene where the girl's dancing is really sexualized, I guess. I haven't watched the movie. I don't know. So they caused a lot of outrage in America, and there was supposed to be a lot of people that were going to leave Netflix. And Netflix is showing that from the data, there hasn't really been a huge impact from that sort of thing. Because those people were like, we're leaving Netflix because of this particular programming. And I think like some of it may have been some of the continual backlash they had from that show, 13 Reasons Why or whatever it was, if you're familiar with that one. I never watched it either, but it was about teenage suicide. And Aldous Hodge. Are you familiar with Aldous Hodge?
No.
Anyway, have you seen The Invisible Man? The new one,
Yeah.
the one that came. He was the police officer in Invisible Man.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you know him. And I was doing the throwback review of Girlfriends. And he was actually in that, which they had him play two different characters. It was kind of weird. When he was in Girlfriends originally introduced, they had him as I can't think. She was the one that was the assistant. No, was she? No, she was. I think he was Tony's brother or something like that.
Okay.
Right. He was only on there for episode, and he ended up going with Lynn. He tried to get in the music, and he was really bad or something. If he was trying to sing a song or whatever.
Oh, yeah. That was Lynn's brother.
Yeah, Lynn. Was he Lynn's brother? Oh, he was Lynn's brother.
He was Lynn's brother.
Yeah. And when they came back, when they tried to introduce the game, because they introduced the game on an episode of Blackish. I mean, what am I talking about? Of Girlfriends, right? So on this show, when they introduced him, he was what's Tamara, whatever her name is, the twins?
Yeah, it was Tia.
Tia, right?
Is that the one that was on the Real or Tamara? I get them confused.
No, Tamara's the one that's on the Real.
Okay.
I don't know which one is which, but the premise in the show was that she was Joan's cousin, and so she was Joan's cousin who was like moving to California or something like that because her boyfriend was playing on the football team or whatever, right? So
and I used to watch Girlfriends. I don't remember that episode. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, it's an episode. It's like in the 7th or 8th season or something like that. It's either 6 or 8, right? 6 through 8, right? Those ones. But he was cast as the football player, and then obviously they made changes because he wasn't in the show anymore, right? He wasn't in that show. But yeah. So anyway, I bring him up because he's going to be playing Hawkman in DC's Black Adam movie, and Black Adam is the movie where the Rock will be playing Black Adam, who is the main antagonist of Shazam. So he's going to be playing Hawkman. And I think it's really interesting, this news that we're getting right now, because the two characters that we talked about, Tinkerbell and Hawkman, have traditionally been white, you know, and now we have some diversity in those particular roles. So, you know, that's some good news there. And that's all the news that I have for that right now. But I did want to talk about this, Antebellum.
That's what I was that's what I'm waiting on. Go ahead.
It's hard to talk about it without spoiling it, right?
When did it come out though?
Last Friday.
Yeah, this last Friday. Yeah.
I thought it was hey, it was the hype, so I'm thinking people had time to see it.
Well, let's talk, before we talk about the movie, there's been some controversy. Well, the controversy is not really controversy. Let's put it like this. Some people feel like it takes some really strong narratives and does nothing with them, but like exploits it, right? The how I looked at it was, I just took it for a movie. I think right now people think that, like, I think people got built up to think that it was going to be like this real kind of social justice kind of like reflection and that sort of thing. It's not that. Yes.
Okay, so it's different than what I thought. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so there's been some backlash because people think they took certain elements and they kind of like used it without really going anywhere with it. But I think the problem is that people, unfortunately, like when you said that when you walk out the house you represent all Black people, you know, I think sometimes all movies that star Black people or directed by Black people, unfortunately, have the burden of having to go beyond just being entertainment.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I watched the movie. I was kind of shocked by, I mean, like and I'm saying, like, would I say it was a movie? I'm not saying that it was a bad movie. I'm not saying it was a great movie. I'm just saying, like, it definitely had some value. It had a twist in it that I cannot reveal without spoiling the movie. But it was really dark at times. I think all times.
Okay, so.
You know,
go ahead.
I would say this though, there's some of the cinematography of it I thought was beautiful, how they captured some of the stuff, and it reminded me of some of the work that and I'm going to tear up his name because I can't remember it, but remember that I was talking a whole bunch about that movie Hereditary.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminded me of Hereditary, the way it was filmed. But yeah.
So the cinematography was really good.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on that, Nick?
I liked it.
Without giving it away.
Right, I don't want to give it away. But I kind of liked it, and yeah, I remember you saying you was watching it last week, right when you already start the show, and you was like, "Man, it's gonna make you mad." Man, yeah, I was mad. I was ready. I was ready to fight after that, like for real. But like I said, yeah, I'm gonna end up giving the movie away. So I just,
it was like that first 10 to 20 minutes, you'd be like, what am I watching? You like what is this? It's like everything that could take place in that situation, they give you all at once. You know what I mean? It's like one thing after another, you know?
Is it safe to say that it was a benefit for them to put everything at the beginning?
They
to tell you what the entire movie is about or going to be about, or how you feel?
I mean,
no, because the twist is it really has a twist to it. So the first 20 minutes in the beginning, when you watch the whole movie, you'll be like, wait a minute. So it's kind of it's hard to describe. It definitely has a twist to it. But yeah, listen, like you said, that first 20 minutes, you be like, listen, ready to go out and just slap somebody, like say, look at me wrong if you want to.
Yeah, it's really intense as far as like everything that they're doing, because you really don't know what's happening, right? Because typically if you saw a movie that started off like this, you would be like, oh, I know this because this is a part of this particular history they're talking about or something like that or whatever. But it's just like it's a story that you don't like. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't read anything on it. I just saw like a commercial here and there. I didn't know anything about it, right? And I didn't really know what was happening. I thought it was like, I didn't know if it was going to be a sci-fi movie. I didn't know what it was going to be, So going in there without any, I had no perceived, like I went in there with fresh eyes. I didn't have any idea what I was watching until I start watching it. And I was like, hold up.
Well, I heard some hype on it. I'm the type of person that it sounds like if I watch the first 10, 15, 20, you said, I will not watch it because I won't watch things that make me upset. That's why I have yet to see Roots, and they keep playing it around Christmas time.
I have yet to see Roots.
I have yet to see Roots. I ain't lying, because listen, I don't want to deliberately be upset. So well, I try to avoid that, even though we know our history, because me knowing the history, and I have been, even when I was younger, I have been interested in Black history. Shout out to you, Miss Peace, because that's who introduced it to me in elementary school. And if I see something where it shows the injustices and I'm gonna be upset, I'm turning it off. But you are saying, Nick, that it takes a twist, and you're saying, Roogle, that is not what the movie is about.
Right.
Yeah,
you have to watch it. Just fight past that and watch it.
Like, for example, when I watched 12 Years a Slave, right, I knew what 12 Years a Slave was going to be about, right? It's going to be about a guy being a slave for 12 years.
For 12 years. I'm not watching it. Go ahead.
Right. So it made me know that, like, there was going to be something at the end that, like, was going to change things. But what I didn't know was all the stuff that was going to happen to Lupita. Like, in that movie, they had me like, God damn, you know what I mean? I was like, man, this is some bullshit. But
it was like a cross between 12 Years a Slave and Underground thrown together in the first 20 minutes. But you gotta push past that and watch it.
Okay, see, I'm gonna watch Hallmark movies because I know it's gonna be a happy ending.
But is it really though?
Oh, it was a happy ending, trust me, for us anyway. Boom.
I mean, like, people felt like they used social commentary that's going on right now, and they handled it kind of sloppily. That's some of the negative comments about it. But
what's your reviews on it? Roogle, the movie guy.
I don't even know if I even want to give it like a grade or anything like that, because like I watched it.
Would you watch it again? Would you pay to watch it again? Because we know the Black Panther, you said yes.
To watch it again. I would pay to watch it with somebody so I can see their reaction to it. You know what I mean?
Now, would that be because you actually lived some of it, so you kind of know the story?
I mean, no, because like the twist is so hard that like I want to see what that person's reaction is to the twist.
I will say one thing: trafficking. And I definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's part of the twist. Trafficking.
Okay. Here we go. Spoiler alert. What was the best part for you, Nick? Spoiler alert, lovely people. Stay tuned in, but put the phone down or do whatever you're doing. Put your computer on mute or whatever, however you're tuned in to Shop Talk with Mel. Nick, what was your favorite part? And don't tell the storyline, but just tell me the favorite part.
My favorite part was the end when Janelle got down.
Okay. Roogle, what was your favorite part?
There was one character who I thought was particularly very creepy.
Okay.
And it was the redhead lady.
Yes.
Yeah, she was like she made me. She had me thinking that this was going to be like more of a supernatural kind of movie than what I thought. But the thing is, like, I think another scene that I liked was when she was leaving the restaurant with her friends. I can't go into that scene, but like, yeah.
Again, the name of the movie?
Antebellum.
All right. Y'all heard it right here.
You
There's
don't have to spoil it. Like, we gonna have to spoil it like next week or something.
We'll
At the
spoil it next
end-
week. Okay.
We
Right,
want you
and
to
at
see
the
it.
end of the movie,
I'll watch it since y'all told me that, but listen,
yeah, you gotta watch it.
you push
But
past
the
the
end of
first
the
20
movie,
minutes, because
you'll
I will turn it off if it's something that's gonna sit there and tick me off because we got all this stuff going on right now. I need some happiness in my life. I don't
you
need
gotta fight past that, Bill.
y'all trying to get me gray hair like Roogle got in his beard all over.
No.
You gotta fight past that. But I will say, at the end of the movie, you'll see why they gave the title its
Okay.
title.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, I'm gonna check it out, and so we'll spoil it next week. All right. Thank you, Roogle. Roogle the Movie Guy, telling me what's happening in the movie world. So I will watch Antebellum. All right. I will watch it. And look, I will watch it early in the morning, outside with the sun shining. Look.
Well, it's not a. I mean, it's not really a. It would be on a level. Now, when I say this, I'm not comparing the two movies.
Okay.
But it's darker than Get Out.
Oh, it's a.
But it's
not a horror movie.
But it's not a horror movie. Like,
It's a thriller.
Yeah.
Again, I'll be watching it early in the morning when the sun is bright. That's when I'll check it out, and then we'll definitely spoil it next week. Let me ask you this because I have to know. Did the director do a good job?
Yes. In my opinion, yes. I don't know about Roogle because he's the movie guy.
I think the criticism is not how the film was directed. I think that the criticism is more about the writing, and I think it might have been a writer director team. Okay. But like I said, like there's some shots in there that are really like is some really nice cinematography. You know what I mean? Like for me, when I seen some of the scenes, I was like, oh. Or even when there were certain things happening, like the view of how they did it, especially like when you how he shot some of this stuff. It adds to the mystery of what's actually happening.
All right. Well, look, now's the time to introduce next week's guest, which is filmmaker Marquette Jones of Hot Combs Productions for next week. So Hot Combs Productions.
Okay. All right.
She did several films. One of them that I'm familiar with is Round on Both Sides. She has won multiple awards for the short films because she'll enter her films into the short films. What is that called? Short films? What is, they they're on BET.
There's festivals.
Festivals, there you go. That's the word I'm looking for. Short film festivals.
Is there something we can watch of hers before?
Check out Round on Both Sides.
Round on Both Sides?
Round on Both Sides. So what's round on both sides? Think about it.
A circle.
A circle, which is the letter Y.
Oh.
So if it's round on both sides, she talk about Ohio. she's from Ohio, and she lives in California. So shout out to her, Hot Combs Productions. You could go to her website, which is hotcombsproductions.com. Then you can see some of her work on there, and then we'll shop talk on next week with the lovely filmmaker Marquette Jones, and she does have a podcast. Do you remember what her podcast name is? I can't even remember what her podcast name. I just said, I told you I don't even have my notes by me, but since we were talking about that, we'll have her on next week, and then that way I'll be able to tell you all the good stuff and all her information. So I want to know, is there any hot topics that you would like to talk about, Nick?
Yes. For those that don't know, and you probably will, you might, if you've seen it on the news, a man here in Youngstown won $1 million on a scratch-off ticket that he got at the drive-through over in
Provo County.
Exactly, over in Brookfield.
Okay.
And one of my cousins was upset because she said she could. is a drive-through that she works at, and it was the last ticket, and she said she could not part with $30 for that ticket. But when she found out that that last ticket was the winner, she's been kicking her. She said she cried for 2 days. I said, see, sometimes God be telling you something. But anyway, the man scratched off and won $1 million. But my problem is all the tax that they done took out. How you win $1 million and you only getting 360,000 of it?
What's your thoughts on that?
Arrearages.
Yeah, that's what I said. What are you on bank child support? Like, that's a lie.
All right.
No, they said after taxes, that's what he's getting.
So I'm wondering if he owes taxes. Didn't you know what I mean?
Right.
That amount. So
But
like
not that much.
Well, they wouldn't know that though.
Look at Wesley Snipes.
But that's
Yeah.
like, but they're taking like 70% of it.
Right.
Exactly.
So do you owe back taxes as well?
I wonder if he taking like a lump sum or something like that.
Oh, okay, probably a lump sum. That makes sense.
Versus
Okay, I can
Then that
understand.
would be included in the taxes then.
That's still too much for even a lump sum. 70%.
Right. Wait a minute. So if you won $1 million at your age right now, would you take the lump sum?
No.
At my age now, I'm greedy. I want my money. I probably wouldn't.
How long do I gotta wait?
But
right, it would be how long
Do I gotta wait 5 years? Do I gotta wait 10? Do I gotta wait 20?
for what? To get the
For
money?
this $1 million.
No, I mean you get it right away as soon as you fill out the
they got
paperwork. Like,
ETBT printing on the back, and it's
like
like
even when you win the lottery, these people get their money right away. Like you got to go through.
Yeah, sometimes if you take the lump sum, you might, but then they have those. There's some of those tickets that'll say you'll get so much a month for a lifetime. Right. If you are sick, you don't know what your life expectancy. Well, we don't know what our life expectancy is anyway, but it's predictable. You know what I mean? If you are a sick individual, would you want your money right now? Roogle.
Yeah. Given the circumstance you just said.
You're not. So those are things that you got to really think about. I know me personally, $1 million over 10 years. Nah, give me my money right now. How much do I have to? What do I get right now? This is it. Let me get it right now because tomorrow is not promised. How long have we heard that? And then if it's gone, it's gone. So it's not like your kids can get it because it's yours. Because they have that in some of the stipulation. You figure, okay, well, the insurance, this and that, and blah, 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 blah. When you go, your money go. You be so stressed out for people begging, you be like, hold on a minute. And they be to check you out. You be out. And then, some churches be like, we need your tithes. We need your tithes. You be like, well, wait a minute. You told me don't play the lottery number. So
look, they're going to do that whether you get the lump sum or not.
You seen it when they constantly say, don't gamble, don't play the lottery number. We know the Catholics gamble all the time, especially with the bingo. But they be like, don't gamble, don't gamble. You gamble, you win the Mega Millions. Do you pay tithes with that dirty money?
Right, exactly. But the thing is,
do you?
Yeah, you always pay your tithes.
Okay. Do you, Roogle?
What's that?
Pay tithes with your dirty money.
With my dirty money, all money is dirty. It's been touched by so many people.
Yeah, I'm that dirty, but we talk about dirty.
dirty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean.
You got it dirty. You got it dirty.
But you mean to hit the lottery dirty?
Yeah,
is that what you said?
Gambling. I don't know where that's in the Bible, but I know somewhere.
Well, yeah, I don't think you're supposed to be. But let's put it like this though. What if I'm a stripper and I have money from
that dirty money?
Yeah.
What if you're the dope man like Michael Jackson's cousin?
Like Michael Jackson.
Store with the doggone IV bag for $2,500.
Yeah. I don't know if you can put drug money in the basket. I don't know about that.
Can you
put money might be okay if you like converting your life on Sunday morning from what you did Saturday night.
Okay.
And then turn around on Monday and do the same thing over again.
Remember, God is a forgiving God.
Exactly.
It ain't
And he
God
might
you
not
gotta
come
worry
when you want him, but he always on time. That's why it don't matter whether that money came from gambling or whatever. Because if you're giving it to the church, you giving it back because he came right on time.
Right on time.
Yeah.
While you were shooting
It-
dice, huh? Listen.
It ain't God you gotta worry about. It's some church folk.
Now, there you go. Look, now you're preaching. That's your word.
You know what I mean?
So
It
tell
ain't-
me, do you remember that one, I'm gonna say lady, because she was over 21, where the pastor came when she hit the Mega Millions, I want to say, and she bought that house and she had all that money. It was in Atlanta, young girl. And the pastor came about the tithing on that money. Do you remember that? You remember? That's why I brought this up. Is it right or wrong?
I mean, if I came across millions of dollars, would I give money to my church? Yeah, I don't know. I would probably do a project for them versus like, just dumping the whole money in there. I mean, like anybody else when they donate to a charity or organization, you know what I mean? You know.
You do what you do. Kind of just what you said though, it's the church folk, because you got the church folk that won't be praying for you. I'm not saying all of them. They won't be praying for you to get out them streets. Yeah, but you out them streets, and then listen, as soon as you don't pay, but like, nah, they done sat there and got this amount of money. So you talk about me for not coming and I'm out in the streets. Then I make money out in the streets, and I don't bring it to the church. Now they know that our youth choir need new robes, and they didn't donate not a nickel. So you are right. When it comes to church folk, it's like, what's convenient for you? That's what matters.
That's one thing I like about my my pastor. Shout out to Greater Mount Zion and Farrell, and Pastor Tyrone Steels. He came from the streets, so he know how it is, and he is not judgmental at all. At all. And he don't mind, him and his wife both don't mind telling nobody the things that they have done. She don't mind telling nobody things that she did while he was in jail to help keep their family afloat. They don't mind at all. So they are not
Those are
judgmental.
testimonies.
Exactly. They got an awesome testimony, and they do. And when I say they don't judge at all. You have some that I done changed my life, and I know one like that. A friend of mine, changed my life. I'm preaching now. I got a church, and then all of a sudden you want to turn judgmental, but you forgot where you came from, bruh. Not the Steels, not at all. They know where they came from. They remember the struggle. They know what it is for everybody else to still be going through that struggle and fighting with themselves, and they don't judge you.
Is it fair to say, on the statement that you just said, is it fair to say that not that those people don't or remember where they came from, maybe they don't feel as though it is your ears that need to hear where they came from? Because there are some people that are in the church and they don't just say, like me personally, not even in the church, just out, period. I'm not going to meet you and give you my resume. I'm not. You met me on this day, what is it, September the 26th. If you meet me on September the 26th, this is who I am. This is the person that you met. So you judge me based on the person that you meet, because remember, we always remember how people make us feel, not what they actually say. Now, if you hear some information that is before September the 26th about me, hopefully it's good things because I made conscious decisions. But if somebody gives you the perception, their perception of me, and I didn't make them feel good, then you look at me in a different light. So when we say that people in the church, they forget where they came from, they probably remember and don't want to remember because that probably was a bad time in their life. But I'm with you when you say don't judge someone else. It is your duty to show them the way if they're going in the path that you're on to. Or are going through, or they see, let me prevent somebody else from going through the heartache that I had to deal with. Anything you want to say? Any last words? Roogle?
Do your census. Figure out if you can vote. Figure out and go vote. Do what you, hurry up.
Figure out. Listen, how about don't tell your people, don't be harassing me, but I will make sure that I am still registered and not purged. I promise that one. Make sure you're not purged. And vote. And the first day of voting in Ohio, you said, is October 6th?
Yeah, I believe that's when voting starts. Yeah.
And the time that I go, Roogle made it very clear that the day that I go is the last day, party day, where it's packed. Look, and you hope you can get in. I think I like the spontaneity. I don't know what it is. I like the excitement.
Yeah, I mean, it's, but the thing about voting early is that you can brag to everybody else. I already voted. Have you?
Now,
Right?
the braggers with the sticker, give me my sticker.
Yeah.
The bragging rights.
Mhm.
And they'll be like, I already voted. And
Voted.
with hopes that now you have those people out there that think that it's going to be rigged.
Yeah.
Can you let them know it's a myth? Can you please let them know that?
Yeah, it's not the way they're perpetuating voter fraud is not how it has ever happened ever. Like this is not, talking about him. He said that he wouldn't have a peaceful transition of power if he lost. So I don't know what the heck that means, but
you know what that means? That means I ain't going down without a fight. Recount. Now you gonna act like you want to be all conservative, talk about
well, hopefully it's a landslide. Hopefully there's no doubt. There's no doubt that it's like, it's no doubt. Hopefully there's no
that. What is that? Hopefully it's no Sean McKinney and Tito Brown crap that happened.
Yeah.
If people's face was on the back of the milk carton, the internet is crazy.
Man, that was hilarious.
That was wild. That was wild. So he said he wants a recount. And look, before the election even started, he want a recount.
It's certain rules that trigger recounts. You just can't, like, if you get, like, I think like sometimes you got to be in like a certain percentage of each other.
Okay.
For them to do it. So let's say you lose by like 5-10%, it ain't gonna trigger a recount. I don't believe it will.
Okay. All right, Nick, any last words?
Yeah, all skin, like old girl said during her speeches, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, y'all. Come on.
One more time.
All skin folk ain't kinfolk. Let's get it together.
All right.
Look.
Coming with them.
Go to the people that benefit you. And don't listen. A lot of people aren't voting for Biden that I know. Now I ain't gonna say a lot because my lot might be like 2 people. But they're not voting for Biden because of the female, and they're men. That's what happened with Hillary. It was
who they gonna vote for?
I have no idea.
Nobody.
But my thoughts are, I didn't vote like who. When I voted for President Barack Obama, I didn't vote for Biden.
Well, I mean,
why is she the problem? Like, why is she the focal point?
Because she's a woman and she's a black woman. That's why.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think the crazy part about it is, okay, George W. Bush, he got elected, right? But his Secretary of State was Condoleezza, right? And to me, the Secretary of State has more power than the Vice President. You know what I mean? The Vice President, like, there's a tie, he can come in and break the tie and all that other stuff or whatever. But, but it seems like the Secretary of State, would be a more powerful position. That's just my thinking, right? When you take away the ability of, okay, if the president can't serve in office, the vice president is the president, you get that. But, he had, like, I just kind of think it's kind of silly. Because I'll tell you like this, was I overwhelmed that he picked her? No, not really. She didn't really excite me, I'll say that. But
who excited you? Who did you think he should have picked?
I can't think of her name, but she was in the
her hair's like yours?
Yeah,
her.
Yeah. I can't think of but it's her hair like mine. But the point is like this. No, it wasn't Abrams. She worked in government, but she was not a politician. I can't think of her name right now. But anyway, I just kind of feel like, that's right now the issue is, let's just get through these 4 years. You know what I mean? Like she is not, let's get through these 4 years. Because ultimately, I mean, as we can see, here. I mean, Trump has done every political scheme that he could do. He's done. You know, so he shows you how the office can be misused. So at this point, if you're not going to vote for Biden because of who the vice president is, you're making a conscious decision not to salvage what America should be.
Okay.
You know, in my opinion.
Well said. Well said. All right, lovely people, that is my time. You know what? Let me give you today's footnote. You have the right to remain silent or vote. All right, lovely. Like you said, boom, mic drop.
Exactly.
That is my time. I thoroughly enjoyed you as I do each and every single Saturday. You already know what it is. Find you, embrace you. Most importantly, always, always love you. Until next week, people.
God we trust.
Hey, there you go. Okay, it's live studio audience and came up with another ending. In God we trust. Now, when they start taking that off money, we're going to have a problem.
That was the remix.
Right.
That was the remix, the Shop Talk ending remix. You are right.
Yeah. The director's cut.
The director, you crazy talking to the director.
Director's cut. You know what?
That's the name of her.